Hey guys, it's Angie and I thought I'll do a quick little update for you all about what me and my husband are using for protection so Lily doesn't have a sibling that comes too soon. So sorry about the way I look at the moment. Me and Lily actually just came home from our morning walk and I thought I would jump on and just do a quick little video while she's happy and just explain to you guys what we are using for protection. So what I'm using for protection is called a Implanon Rod, which is actually a small little plastic tubing that gets inserted into my arm, and it's a slow release hormone that works over 3 years. So I basically don't have to worry about any protection for the next 3 years. But if I do want to fall pregnant any earlier than 3 years, I basically have to just go book an appointment back into my doctor and she will remove it, and my cycle should start off fairly normal in the next 2 or 3 months. But with me, for instance, I actually don't have a normal cycle, so my doctor says once I get the implantation removed, she will actually send me off to a specialist if I do wish to become pregnant. So with that in mind, saying me and my husband actually don't plan on having another one anytime too soon. We actually are very happy and blessed that we just have Lilia, considering that all the things that happened with her pregnancy and the troubles we had to conceive her and have a healthy baby. So at the moment we're quite blessed and just happy and content that we just have Lilia within our world. So at the moment we don't plan to have another one, but yeah, so I'll go through and explain what happened with the procedure and then show you my arm, and then that would be it. So what happens is I had to go to the doctor first and just go about explaining what I wanted to use for protection and things like that. My doctor gave me a list of basically things that I could do, so that in the Implanon was actually one of them, and then she wrote a script up and I went to the chemist and filled it out. So the Implanon actually cost, I think it was about $40 all up, which I thought was pretty good for a whole protection for 3 years. Now it actually is quite more expensive than that, but because we have a healthcare system here in Australia, the government pays a big bulk of that, because obviously they don't want a million kids running around Australia. So they pay a big part of the costing of the Implanon to begin with, so which is always a big help. The next step was I actually had to call the doctor's surgery and get a consultation booked in and let them know that it was actually for the Implanon to get put in, and then they booked a longer consultation with my doctor. So it's actually the doctor who does it and not the nurse, because she has to be, to put it in, you have to be a qualified person to and be trained in it. So my doctor is one of those people, and they say it's actually a little bit harder to get out than put in, which my doctor says she has no trouble getting them out either, because she has kind of like a method and she does it a fair bit, so which is always a plus to know when I want to get removed. So basically I go into the doctor's, and I had to bring my husband as well with me because he had to look after Lilia, because obviously I had to lay down and get the Implanon put in, so I couldn't actually have her running laying around the floor and things like that. So my husband came as well, and I basically lay on the bed and she gave me a local anesthetic which numbed my whole arm, and then the Implanon actually came in like a little big long syringe, like a clip thing. She then inserted that into my arm, pressed the button, the implantation then rod actually went into my arm, and then that was pretty much it. So it will leave me with a scar, apparently this little big, but at the moment I can't see it because it's actually covered. So as you can see, it's in my arm at the moment, and it looks a bit gross because I actually just got done yesterday. So and I can feel it. It's just basically the rod is just here, and it's basically this big. I can feel it in there at the moment, but I can't actually move it around too much because it's actually really quite tender and sore still. But I think that's mainly because Lily is breastfeeding and her head sits on that arm really. So at the moment I think that's the reason why it's a bit tender, more than what it usually is. So, and then that was pretty much it. Basically she wrapped it and bandaged it and said that I have to leave the bandage on for 24 hours and then the band-aid itself on for 42 to 72 hours to make sure that the little hole closes over, because you don't get any stitching or anything like that. She basically just then puts a butterfly clip over it, and then I was good to go. So that was pretty much it. Now the most expensive part of the whole procedure was actually going to the doctor itself. It cost me $150 to go see my doctor, but then I actually got some of that money back from Medicare, which is what our medical health fund is called in Australia. So I think all up I got $56 of that back. So I think all up, I think it cost me about $70, including the implantation rod itself as well. So I thought that was pretty good for, you know, 3 years worth of protection. But then that is pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, or if you want to ask me about it, please leave the comments down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. But other than that, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye guys.